Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kelly coming with a new video. So I had recorded another video yesterday and my phone died on me, so I'm recording a brand new one and just trying to get rid of as much content on my phone just because my memory is full and I'm paying for all these things, and well, frankly, nobody asked how things are going, right? But things are not going well right now for me in any aspect with health, financially, or anything. And as much as I've tried very hard with doing things and trying to keep things positive and not fall into this negative mindset that is so easy to fall into, and that's something I question myself, like, why is it so easy to fall into a negative mindset? I don't know. Generational experiences in life, not knowing how to deal with things. I can't explain that to you. But recently I had a delay of like a week or two of not working, and a lot of people are probably like, wow, you get to not work for 2 weeks. No, it's not. That's not what this is, okay? It's because things got out of control when there's people watching me and they intentionally go out of their way to ruin things. Just like I told you, my car was broken into. So whoever has done that, I seriously hope you heal from whatever jealousy you're experiencing or whatever problems you are having in your life that have encouraged you to go out of your way to mess up my business that I was doing. I really don't understand. And I can't just leave where I am residing. Thankfully, by the grace of God and my wonderful grandmother who has helped me, that we have our own family issues, but the unit still functions somehow, because we see past the resentment. And it's really hard to work things out with my family because they're not very emotional type. Just my grandmother, she's more happy, and she tries hard to stay positive. So right now she's been the rock in my life that has helped me when my family members aren't capable of doing so, other family members. And this is something I've noticed. I don't do things by myself. I always have friends or some family member helping me, although it might seem like that's what I'm doing. When it comes to studies, yeah, I do all of the work myself, and putting in the work to understand the information and try and do well on exams. I'm a terrible test taker, okay? That's my problem right now with anything that I'm doing with outside of the traditional school system, just because I had already paid for something. So I'm trying to just finish that at least, so I have some sort of certification to earn more money, okay? Let's just be real. Money is just as important as the air that we breathe, right? It's necessary to pay our bills. It's just the system we live in, where we don't live in this like trading system anymore that's ancient. I mean, some people still implement. I'm really sorry about all these ravens or crows. This is something I've also been noticing. I'm like, I don't believe in witchcraft or anything like that, but I see all of these birds always around me. And if you're sending bad vibes to me, like, please don't. Go do something else with your time. And whether that's me attracting it for whatever reason, yeah, I've been praying to God that I stay away from all that stuff. But anyway, this is my current situation. I'm still trying to keep going with the rideshare model, although I've not had the best experiences with rental companies, and I'm sure they're struggling themselves with maintaining with such a fast-paced type of business and having cars repaired and trying to connect with mechanical shops or dealerships as it is, because you have the people that buy cars from dealerships, and then you have the people that buy them from other small business type of dealerships. So it's just like something I don't fully understand, and I don't think people understand what has to go into it when you no longer have a vehicle of your own that you are maintaining. And this has really set me back financially, but I'm not going to give up because it's my responsibility to upkeep my bills. And although, my family wants to see me like relax and just kind of have more of a slow paced life, like that's not what I got myself into now. So I can't just back down, and it's been a struggle for me stress wise. But like I said, with the support systems that I have left of my friendships, I've been very grateful, and I've been holding on to them because it's all I have left. It's really terrible to say that, because I used to be that girl that had so many friends when I was younger, and things just didn't work out that way anymore. I didn't upkeep my relationships, and neither did they. Recently I've experienced a lot of blockage from family members, and just that resentment that stays within people. And how do you get rid of that resentment that you're dealing with? How do you deal with technological problems that you're facing? Like recently I experienced where I was driving out to all the way to San Diego, and I'm not sure if there's somebody like installed a VPN on my account or something, where I only have access to my schoolwork when I'm physically in San Diego, not in any other location, which is messing up the structure of how I had things, going to school out of my car. That's why I'm not trying to post as much of what's going on in my life, because I feel like there's somebody watching who is purposely trying to ruin my life or just put obstacles in the way to block out the blessings or the route of things that I'm trying to finish. Okay, and I'm not trying to ride share forever. I don't want to work with startup companies anymore. I need more of a stable company in my life. And that doesn't have to be Uber or Lyft, okay? Because even with the way that taxes have gone through, it was more like a collaboration type of thing, and maybe that's just things my accountant didn't understand. And now, although he did a wonderful job, that was just a referral of somebody else that I knew, and now I'm trying to look for somebody else. So just a lot of changes that I don't really understand when it comes to the structure of banking, and asking family members for help. Like, they have their own problems too, so they can only help as much as the bare minimum of like food. All the other things, it's kind of up to me, and there's not enough hours in a day to do everything. So for me, the source of income is still just sharing companies at the moment. And I think it's also because people are pushing for me to find a man to be with, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that is generally the structure of things, like relationships in general function more when there's two. Like that saying, two is better than one. It's just easier whether you have I'm speaking to the people who are like heterosexual, like straight, if you're a woman, you seek out a man. If you're a man, you seek out a woman. When you are growing up, you generally have friends, and if you're a female, you're usually going to be with a female friend. And there's this culture that I've noticed, like guys that just want to be trolls or just don't know how to approach women. They'll be like, oh, they're lesbians, and it's kind of sad for you to say those things for the women that are actually straight. and just have a best friend, because we do have a whole community of people who are lesbians, who are gay. So that's really not something you should be joking about anymore, like, people roasting each other. I know I used to have friends that were really into this culture, and I was like, I don't like this about you. I get it, it's a joke, but I don't want to feed into the joke. So I've struggled with friendships myself, just because I don't want to fall into that same synchronicity of groupthink, like just being jokeful about serious things in life. I don't know if people just don't realize this stuff until like later in life, when their brains start maturing more. I don't know. I'm not like a know-it-all to tell you the answer to that. But the point is, right now in my life, nothing is really going right. Some people are going to be happy that I'm going through these struggles. Some people are going to be empathetic that I'm going through these struggles and just feel the pain because they've probably gone through similar situations. Just cruelty that humanity expresses towards other humans. And when your life is good and structured, like you have everything, and you're kind of at a comfortable place where you feel like you've been successful, you either feel bad for people that aren't in that position, or you start fearing that you're gonna go back to what got you into that situation. So for me personally, that's where I am right now. Like, doing rideshare out of your vehicle and like basically living out of it, because you're sleeping in the vehicle like 3 to 4 hours, trying to stay within the legal limit, and then just like functioning that way, and getting help from family and friends, and then seeing people that watch your videos basically just say the same things to drive traffic towards them. It's just painstaking to see and watch. But I don't know, I guess that's life. I don't like that aspect of life, and I'm not happy, not to have housing and like working that much, because I'm trying to understand this mini game more and forget about my past of the involvements I've had. And obviously I've shared with y'all like a lot of the experiences I went through from my perspective in relationships with dating. I think most people that stick with like their, if you want to say high school sweethearts or college sweethearts, like you're the first person you date, like they're not going to understand the instability that somebody faces from being in relationships with a monogamous relationship, but then breaking up and then going into another relationship, trying to pursue that path to a 2-person household eventually. People just don't get it. And it's not for something to sit there and explain to anybody right now. Jesus, so many birds. You think I'm kidding? Like, I'll show you the sky, all these birds flying around here. Scary stuff. I always see these birds following me, and I'm like, if you're doing witchcraft on me, please stop. Okay, I don't want any of that. Okay, the light of Jesus is much more powerful than any of that. Okay, but this is my current life standing, and then it's been a lot harder for me to go back to school. I'm sure people want me to stick through what I was doing with rideshare, because it was working in the way that I was maintaining my rating. It was really high, and I'm sure other rideshare drivers that watch, they're trying, they've said, all of those ratings don't matter anymore. it's scary to put out content when there's this competition of maintaining views on these channels. That's why after seeing a lot of this, like, and some YouTubers, how they talk about other YouTubers, it's like this gossip culture you still experience when you're in high school, but it's just changed into a platform online, which I don't really like. So I don't really want this channel to get bigger, and I don't want to date anybody currently because of my housing situation and even like the instability. That's just what I'm going to attract to myself right now. And if I accept help from somebody else who this recently happened to me, this guy had offered, like, I live by myself, like, I have my life pretty together, I got a stable job. I'm like, thanks, like, you're basically, selling yourself right here with, like, trying to take me on a date. But I'm like, honestly, you don't want this mess right now, so don't even get involved with this. And I don't want to fall into somebody's hands who does have their life together and then see that character turn into, like, something else where it's gonna misguide me from the path that I'm trying to go down, which is just to finish my studies and maintain my current bills that I have going on, because I don't want to fall behind further with loans or creditors or anything like that. It was easy when I had a roommate in my last experience, and then from there I just went on full into the car. And then I have insurance companies now telling me, like, you can't have insurance unless you have an address. So now I have to decide between, like, changing PO boxes to UPS or USPS, like, just little things. So if it's worked this way for me, I don't really want to post much content until the thing is done, because if you start telling, at least from my experience, when you tell people, like, what's gonna happen, your goals, they'll try to throw you off in your experience. And if you experience jealousy, like, just stay away from me, okay? Because that's a negative emotion that I don't want near me. It's hard to maneuver through emotions that people experience differently, but there's really great influencers that are mostly on a positive note, and one of them that I will refer you to from this video, I don't know this woman, but I do watch her content because her confidence really helps me regain my confidence in moments where I don't feel like I'm confident in what I'm experiencing physically. Okay, but her name is Tatiana James. She, I believe, is based out of Canada. And, she's managed to build, like, an Amazon business online. She met her husband, and, she lives a very beautiful life. At least that's what she portrays online. So women like that are in their femininity and very calm and are still very successful business women, I admire that so much, because you don't see much jealousy between that dynamic or how somebody presents themselves. So that's what I'm striving for, and those are the type of friendships I want. I, unfortunately, right now, my network is down to, maybe 2 people, which is not ideal, especially when you're trying to maintain bills that are over $5,000 a month. And that might not seem like a lot to some people, But when I'm trying to do everything by myself and I don't really have the most trustworthy relationships to rely on, it's more work on me. And obviously, we've seen how that's taken a toll on me physically. And even having gotten into an accident previously with this person who I dated for a few months. I don't know what I was thinking actually. But that's done. That's a chapter in my life I would have liked to never happen. And I think I need to find somebody else that actually speaks the English language equal to or better than myself, is bilingual, ideally, just because of my family structure. And people try. I've noticed that some people that come into my car as rideshare passengers, they'll try to sell themselves like to me in the sense like, oh, like I'm this, I'm that, and I'm like, okay, I'm here to give you a ride. I'm not here to get into anything with you. So it's an interesting daily work I'm dealing with, and this is why I've considered upgrading the dash cam I have, just so there's no misinformation going on. Because even from things I go out to do on a daily basis, even with these rental companies, I try to document the things that I do, because you just never know when somebody's gonna come back at you and be like, oh, you owe this much money, or oh, you did this damage to my car when you really didn't, and then you're getting charged for things. Like, I'm literally not rich, guys, and putting the liability on me as a person is not really what I want to be further in debt, okay? That's why corporations exist, so they take on the liability and the human doesn't, okay? It's a different structure, but still, don't cheat the system just like lying and manipulating things. That's what I don't like. And I'm just praying that I have better business relationships, better customers, or how some people say clients. It's just a whole other area of life that I'm also trying to stay away from, when it comes to the people that know people in those sex industries that I've noticed have come into my life, and then they tell me, and I'm like, oh, sorry, like, I don't want to be like, don't get offended, but no judgment towards you, but I really don't want to be friends with you if you're involved in that. And maybe that's also because of what my previous boyfriend in the sense of like the word together, not a male friend, somebody that's just only your friend. His experience, I really don't need to talk about this, but what he decided to do for himself, and that's just not for me. I'm not involved with that person anymore. It's like he doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what that is, so please don't try to get me involved in any of that. I've tried stepping away from all those relationships that have caused me a lot of pain in the last year or so. And I don't know why I attract these types of people. Maybe it's because of like I'm nice and it seems like I'm easy to walk over, which is kind of toxic if you ask me, but I don't want that in my life anymore. I want people in my life who reciprocate the respect, and that might sound boring because it's not like dramatic or anything, but it's peaceful, and that's initially what I'm striving for, a life where I don't have to be paranoid of like who's gonna screw me over next. You don't want to live your life like that, and unfortunately that's been partially my experience. And then people want to tell me that I need to seek behavioral health because I had previously reached out for therapy services when I was attending university physically. That doesn't mean I'm mentally ill, guys. And even in, I think, like Mexican and Hispanic cultures, that is like taboo. That if you go to seek therapy, like you're crazy, you're going into a mental institution, and like you're just, like you're not strong enough to deal with life. So, that's what friends are for too. Like, you talk to your friends about these things, but the older you get, the busier your schedules get, then it turns into like going out to seek for professional help rather than discussing these things with your friends. And if you have those friendships still where you have like a best friend who, there's no problems between you two, then you're blessed, and hold on to those friendships, and you're gonna go far in life together. That's really all I have to say about my current circumstances and trying to get through life. Unfortunately, I don't have the structure of what got me into the success of my first years in university, and you can see that reflecting even in my grades. Just trying to adjust to the changes, and it's not really working out. It's a lot easier, like if you're watching this and you have younger cousins or people that are just leaving into university or colleges, like have them really focus and just stick through it. Because for me, I've enjoyed my experience on how I've done some things. I've experienced really ugly things along the way, and I look back and I wish I would have done things differently, but you can't just go back. Okay, we don't have time machines to just go back and change things. There's no like reset button in life. Like what you've already gone through, it's still there. But from this point forward, I seek tranquility and success and higher confidence, not egotistical confidence, but just confidence and assurance in what I'm doing from this point forward. Okay? I don't know what that was. So I will see y'all on the road for ride sharing. I'm really grateful for the people that have been there when rideshare isn't paying me that much, and they have my back with things, or when I've had to reach out to friends for help with additional funds because I'm not making it. Okay, that should let you know that the way that I've managed to do some things, it's not for the person to just do them alone, right? And I don't like saying the names of these people because I don't want people to go out and reach out to them and like try to get things out of them, just like information, just because they're conniving little people. Okay, because people are like that, like where people kind of work like gang stalking, and then they bring you down in that way. So for my own safety, I'm more about like small circles of people too, It's nice when you can go in front of people and just like speak and, you know, generate money that way too, where people pay you to hear you speak. But I don't really like big crowds. I wouldn't I wouldn't be able to be out there in front stage like a lot of these celebrities and artists do when they go and perform their shows. But you know, if you have that much high of confidence and you can do that, awesome. You know, that's why they make the money that they do. For me personally, I'm more of a shy person, and when I go full on introverted mode, it's because I either don't feel secure with people or I'm losing my confidence. Okay, so don't use that weakness against me. It's also my strength, because being introverted allows me to enjoy the presence of my own being. But that's not the reality of society. And sometimes you just need to recharge. Okay, but anyway, I'm running this way too long now, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I'm just updating y'all on what's going on. I've been applying for other jobs just to kind of step out of the rideshare area, but I just had this talk with my dad too. He's like, you're almost gonna be 30 in a few years, like you really need to fix this messy situation you're in and think of what you're actually gonna be doing with your life. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's something scary to face, that, you know, 5 years goes by really fast. So 30 is just right around the corner for me, and I still don't have the things that I want. I had the car that I wanted to be driving, but because of other people's conniving characters and just evil nature, literally. Okay, anybody that breaks into your things and steals your things is not of good nature. Okay. I now have a huge cost, and I really don't want to lose that vehicle. Because I worked really hard to get that car in the first place, and to see somebody go out of their way to ruin what I worked hard for hurts. Okay, so I know there's people out there that want to hurt me. It's sad, but this is why I'm being a lot more careful with who I friend, and at least I'm just sticking to the relationships that I know are secure for me. And luckily that's something I have gained well from college, or like university, I should say. Right, community college, Cal State, UC system. From Cal States, that's something I have and I cherish very much, the help that I still receive from my friendships that are left and that didn't just drop me after, you know, they received what they needed from me, or when I had a really good standing financially and everything. It hurts to see that go, but the ones that are still there, I'm grateful they're still there, and that I can live a life that doesn't revolve around paranoia and being around the party scene all the time. By that I mean just like anytime there's like alcohol around, somebody is gonna have like some sort of drugs. Like, this is a class I took in college too. It was called Drugs in Our Society, because it is something that people should be educated on. But that's why I don't really like going out to parties anymore. Like, I'd rather just go out to a restaurant. But even then, when you go out to bars, there's like really evil men that will spike your drink. So always make sure to cover your drink when you're out. Don't drink with strange men. I say men because it's usually the experiences I've seen. It's not very often that you see women do that. I mean, I've never had a woman do that to me, okay? But be careful out there. It's better to just enjoy a drink by yourself in peace, classy, just like a glass of wine. I don't think the Bible says you can't drink wine, that it's against the law or anything. So, yeah, that's as much as I could say. But be safe out there, people. Be successful. And, if you don't have friendships that you feel like are really giving you that, then it's time to, save some money aside and maybe seek out these seminars and go out of your way. It might take some time, but you might learn something from these people. And like I mentioned earlier, one woman that has an awesome channel on YouTube and really just shares like her whole life and is really positive about everything. Like, she is really a breath of fresh air to watch. It's Tatiana James. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go and prepare for my week, because I'm really scared on what's gonna happen this next week. Not having my car has really set me back financially, and I am in a lot of debt now because of this little inconvenience I had of somebody breaking into my car and mechanical problems, that people just ruined my vehicle. Me trusting that leaving it somewhere it would be safe when it wasn't, and I'm just struggling. I don't know how to generate this money quickly enough to fix everything that needs to be fixed in the car. And I really don't want to put my friends into debt. I've asked what I can to continue doing rentals. But yeah, guys, watch out that you don't have any people calling themselves friends, but just being jealous of you and spewing hate towards your life to ruin things. Okay, that's been my experience in the last few months. It doesn't really help that we're in the month of October because there's a lot of dark energy going around with spirits and stuff like that. You hear all these ravens? I think I'd rather stay indoors. Okay, so I'm gonna go now. Alright, stay blessed, stay on a high vibrational level, and stay away from people that don't want anything good for you. Alright? Don't be lazy. If you need a moment of getting your mind up there, if you're a guy, you can always listen to Jocko. I know that's helped some of the guys that I've shown his content to, where they just need a manly figure in their life to tell them to go do the work. I'm not a man, okay, and I'm not manly, so I can only advise so much. This is why we have two genders. Okay, now I might function in the work of like fending for myself as a man would go do, a hardworking man, but that doesn't mean I enjoy it, and that doesn't mean I do enjoy that independence that comes with it, but I don't enjoy the hard work that I have to put into it. But I know the hard work is what gets me there. So hopefully that helps y'all. You could always drink some coffee or drink some green tea. That might help you with the caffeine, staying caffeinated, so you stay awake, or just a good night's sleep. That also helps too. I don't recommend you neglect sleep, because even neglecting sleep, sometimes you don't function as you should. It causes a lot of fogginess in the mind, and you can't really concentrate on some things, like when you have too much sleep deprivation. Okay, so stay healthy out there, be careful. I know we're coming out of a pandemic right now, but try to be nice and try to not be an evil person. Okay, that's as much as I can tell you. So I'll see y'all in the next video. And on the road, ride sharing. If you see my videos and I get you on rideshare, you know, just let me know. Comment below. You could always like the video, subscribe for the video, or click on the notification bell. I'm sure I'll be posting more content in the future when I have a lot more interesting content to put out. Right now, I just need to focus on my finances and making sure that I don't break the bank or, you know, have to file bankruptcy or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure there's a lot of students out there that are trying to get their student loans paid, and that is what the Democratic Party is doing, which is another political thing that we have arguments. That whole arena of politics is very unmanageable territory for me, and disagreements between parties, so I don't even want to get into that. All right, but peace if you want to watch a woman who has her life together, who is really inspirational in the way that she has created her dream life. Go to Tatiana James' channel. Okay, she will get you on the right path. I watch her myself because I'm trying to be on that path too. Okay, see y'all and have an awesome Sunday. Be blessed, stay healthy, and try not to die out there.